What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now, we're sitting at $36,991. We'll call it $37,000. We're up about 1%. What I want to do is look at Bitcoin here on the 4-hour time frame to start out. Then we're going to actually work our way back to the 1-day time frame. But what you can see here is we're in one of these little pennant formations here. It hasn't been enough time to be a symmetrical triangle, but it's similar to that. What you see is we're having those lower highs and higher lows coming in. So we're getting into that squeezing effect. You know, I always talk about it when the candles get really tight and we get in these patterns, we're waiting for that breakout. Now, when you're in something like this, the odds are a little bit better that it'll break with the trend, and the trend's been up, so we have a little bit higher odds that we will break to the upside out of this. But out of these pennant formations here, you have to be careful as well, because we still can get that downside breakout as the candles get tight here. So this is an area you really want to watch and monitor. So to the downside, if we do start breaking down here, I would not want to go below roughly about 34,683. That's going to be a support area. Then it's going to be this 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame. That's roughly going to be around 31,576, because if we do get a downside breakout here, most likely it's probably going to be pretty aggressive. Right now, all the signs are pointing towards, in my opinion, I think we have a much better shot at breaking out to the upside. Now, if we do start having 4-hour candle closes out from the top of this trend line here, we look up to around $40,248 going to be overhead resistance. Then it's going to be that $42,130. Now, if we can break through 42,130, if we get a nice snap out of here, guys, it's blue sky breakouts again, and that potentially could lead us up to that $50,000 range. That's how quick it'll happen. You know how these moves work in Bitcoin. When you consolidate and then you finally break, whether it be to the upside or downside, it's going to be extreme most likely. Now, if we just float outside of this, then the pattern would be irrelevant. We just continue consolidating. We'd have to further monitor everything that's going on. But what you see here, and why I believe that down the road here we're going to have that shot at $50,000, is because institutional investors, they're still holding, which is propping up the price. So Grayscale, they're still buying more. They're holding on to it. They're not selling at this area. And we also haven't had that straight up fifth wave where we have that blow off top. So in my opinion, this is good consolidation, and we have a better shot breaking to the upside than we do the downside. But on this channel, we always prepare for both. You have to have a plan for both. So if we did drop down back to that 31,500, this 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame, what are you going to do with that? Are you a buyer in that area? And these are the things that you have to plan yourself. You can see each time we've basically hit this 200, we've started back moving again. So that could be a potential area that some people, if we do move to the downside, will have buy orders in at. And I've always talked about limit buy orders off moving averages. A lot of times we get these really long wicks and you can pick them up for a cheap price, and then we get moving to the upside. You can see like over here where we had this really long wick. If you would have had buy orders down in this area here, would have been a beautiful play. So this is the type of stuff you want to look at here. But we are up above on the 4-hour, up above our 14, our 20, our 50, 100, and 200 moving average right now. The RSI is sitting at about 53. If we get into the 1-day time frame, if we want to bounce out here, and typically in these pennants or a symmetrical triangle, if you're looking at something a little bit longer, typically it's about 30 days for a symmetrical triangle. But when you're looking at this, you're going to see the volume also dropping off, and then look for that explosive volume, whether it be to the upside or the downside. You got to be prepared for this. So if we go to the 1-day time frame, you can see right here, if we step back, we are trading right now. The candle is getting very tight. We're trading up above our 20, our 50, 100, and 200 EMA. So that's good, but we are below right now, trying to get up above in yellow here, our 14 EMA, which many times that'll hold an uptrend pretty nice. The 14 and the 20, if we get a deeper retracement, sometimes back down to the 50s. If we have, you know, some bad news, sometimes even back down to that 100 or 200, we can get into that range. We're not at that area yet right now. We're waiting to see if we get that nice break to the upside. The RSI is at 61, so we have room to do it. If we want to break through 42,130, we actually have room, because last time when we were up here at this 42,130, the RSI was up around 90. And typically that's a sign for you that things are going to have to cool down a little bit. And we got this nice drop to the downside, went as low as about $30,000. Buyers step back in that area. So we're going to be looking for a big swell of volume to get up through this spot. I wanted to show a few more indicators to you here. We're going to take a look at the stock RSI. Stock RSI is at 4 and 2 right now. So that's a really good thing for us as well. We're just not in those overbought conditions. So that gives us another chance to potentially break to the upside. And remember, guys, you know, people in this space, when they say, I know exactly where it's going, they don't. Anything can happen. We're not the whales in the market. I'm not a whale in the market. Anything can happen in this space, and you have to be prepared for it. Always have a plan. Upside, downside, sideways. Have a plan. Don't let your endorphins take over. If you're staring at amazing profit, use those stop losses. And people ask me about trailing stop losses. What I do, I basically, as price moves up, if it's something I have a good profit in and I want to lock that in case we have a dump, I just keep taking it out and moving it up, taking it out, moving it up. Yeah, it's a little more time consuming, but to protect your profits, that's what some people like to do if you're swing trading this market and looking for those good opportunities. Now, if we get into the technicals for Bitcoin, and also if you guys get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know what you think out of this little pennant here. Do you believe that we're going to be moving to the upside, or do you believe, do you believe we're moving to the upside, the downside, or are we just going to move sideways for a little bit longer while some of the money goes into the altcoins? And it's nice to see some of the altcoins really taking off today, guys. It's nice to see that volume back in them. We just got to get this moving, right? So if we get into the technicals, we're looking at a 2 sell, 10 neutral, and a 16 buy on the 1-day time frame. Oscillators, we're looking at a 2 sell, 9 neutral, and a 0 buy. Our sell is going to be the momentum right now, and the MACD is going to be a sell on the 1-day. The rest is basically running neutral. Moving averages looking really good. They're all a buy. We're trading up above them. If we get out to the 1 week, we're looking at a 4 sell, 6 neutral, and an 18 buy. Oscillators, 3 sell, 5 neutral, and a 3 buy. Moving average is still looking strong. 1 sell, 1 neutral, and a 15 buy. On the 1 week, the RSI is still up around 86, so we do need to be aware of that. You can see that's throwing a sell signal because we're in overbought territory, the commodity channel index, and then the momentum is also going to be a sell, and we're looking at MACD as a buy, ultimate oscillator as a buy, and let's see here, guys, MACD, oscillator, so those two right there. So that's what I wanted to bring to you today, guys. Just be careful in this area. Have your alarm set. Things are going to get crazy. Candles getting tight. Be prepared. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.